What up? It's your boy, Dick Incredible Man, and yes, I am back at it again. And this is My Hero Academia Season 4, Episode 15, discussion slash review, man. And let's dive right into it. Now, this episode, it was an episode. If I'm being honest, that's exactly what it was. It was, don't get me wrong, it wasn't good, it wasn't bad, it was just a nice intermediate episode to get you ready for the second core and to dive you right into everything that's going to happen. And we got in this episode, we got some stuff that's going to take place, and they kind of showed you that so you'll kind of know what to look forward to in the next couple episodes to prepare you for everything while you're getting ready. And that's what this episode was, because it actually started again right after everything that happened last week. And we see Shigaraki attacking Shisaki again, and then we kind of dive into like everyone kind of watching it on the news. So that's what we kind of broke off into this episode at the very beginning. And then the rest of the episode was us just seeing certain scenes that's going to prepare you for the stuff that's coming in the second core in the latter half of this season, and prepare you what's going to take place in those episodes, and some setup stuff as well. That's all this episode was, and I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, I mean, you have to have these episodes as well, along with your jam-packed and action episodes. And this was a nice intermediate episode to give us that while we were dealing and reeling off of everything that happened in the last couple of episodes. So, they kind of had to kind of slow down the pace a little bit. And I don't know if anybody else noticed, but I'm pretty sure, I mean, it was pretty obvious. But me, myself, with them slowing down the pace, and there was no action sequences or anything in this episode, and it was just all talking and seeing all this other stuff going on, the animation was better than than it's like. Don't get me wrong, it's been good. Like with the action sequences that they've had with the fights and everything, they were good. They were good. They were great episodes. They were animated very, very well, and you can see everything. But I'm just saying, like, it seemed like they bumped up the animation in this episode to me. I don't know, maybe just because like they just had maybe like some extra in the budget to go with this episode, and because they didn't have to do any fight scenes, so they just kind of just animated the whole episode in such good and great quality, and it just showed in this episode, and it was very, very nice. But yes, the main stuff that happened this episode, like I said, it entered right after last week's episode at the beginning. Then we got also introduced to another one of All For One's high-powered flunkies, or whatever you want to call them. But before we got introduced to him, we see that we have what is his name? I know his name. Oh, Gran Torino, and All Might's friend, the detective, Tisaki. Tita. Oh, I know his name. If I would have been thinking, I know his name. But anyway, All Might's friend, the detective, and they were chasing Kurosagi, or Kurosigi, or however you want to say his name, and they were trying to capture him because he's a vital part of the League of Villains. And long story short, they did end up capturing him, but he was being seen, and Gran Torino was questioning, well, why is he, with his powers, he's more for secrecy and stealth. Why are we being able to capture him so frequently? And they showed that the reason he was being able to be spotted so much because he was looking for someone in particular in the forest. And I hope I don't butcher this name. Giganto Macha, or Machia, or whatever. I had to pull his name up because like I remember it from the episode, but I couldn't pronounce it, and I had to have me a visual when I was looking at it to try to pronounce it. But yeah, I had to pull up his name, and I didn't want to read anything because now, as you guys know, in my previous discussion reviews of My Hero Academia, I read the manga, all of that. Now we're entering into new stuff where I haven't read or anything about it. So all of this is a complete brand new shock and wonderful episode to me. But they done some other things in this episode as well that I enjoyed, for it to just be a laid back, relaxing episode to get you ready for the second core when everything is going to take place. And that is, they showed Mirio where he's telling Deku that he's not going to let all of his sadness and circumstances of losing Sir Night Eye and not having his quirk get him down. He's going to stay positive and motivated, and even though he can't attend UA right now, he's going to find his way back. And we had Aizawa telling him that well, once Eri learns to control her quirk, she might be able to revert you back to a time when you had your quirk. So it was just a nice calm episode, just giving you some of the stuff that you may have questioned and wanted to know. We also have Deku talking to him and contemplating on giving up One for All. And the thing is, like, okay, now we're at this point to where Mirio knew about One for All, but he didn't know that it could be like what had to be happened to be passed, because, you know, when he was talking, he was like, well, if there's a possibility or a way for you to pass it to me, don't, because then I feel sad because you don't have a quirk and everything. So there's a lot of stuff going on. But at that point, Midori, I'm just being real. You and Mirio know. And then All Might just happens to be at the door, kind of just eavesdropping a little bit. But what if someone that didn't know happened to be at the door? Now, that is the only thing I had about this. That's one of the things I had about this episode, man. Deku, dude, you just reached that status over these last couple episodes, and now you're doing stupid stuff again. Don't be telling people that you can pass One for All off to people. Quit telling. I mean, yeah, you're telling Mirio because he knew a little bit, but you're in a room and you're not whispering. I mean, you're talking pretty loud. So what if someone down the hallway heard you? But then we one of the better scenes that I enjoyed this episode was when they got back to the dorm, because they had to go to the police station to answer some more questions and stuff. But once they got back to the dorm, all of their classmates were there and worried about them, and they were just so, it was nice to see them just be wrapped around all of that, and they were just like, let me get you some tea and everything, eat this cake, and they were just all so worried about them, and they were all happy that they were back and they were safe. And I love how they touched on this episode that all four of the students that was in this whole work study and that had this whole serious situation going down, they're having problems sleeping. They're having a little tough time coping. So I love that for My Hero Academia, that they touched on the fact that this is a real thing. Something serious, very serious happened, and these kids are a little bit traumatized. And it's not just going to be like, boom, bam, okay, they're healed and they're going back to being heroes. No, they're actually really traumatized, and I really enjoyed that. And then we have Bakugo and Todoroki having their work-study program, and that's pretty much what the back half of this episode was. It was just showing them doing that, and they wrapped everything up. Like I said, it was a nice, mellow episode, but some of the greatest parts of this episode were them showing that the students actually are having trauma, and Mirio keeping a smile on his face, dealing with his circumstances as of right now. He's just dealing with it. And then we also have, wait, what else did we have this episode? Oh, we have Gran Torino calling All Might, telling him that they captured Kurogiri, and they came in contact with this other super strong dude that was working for All for One, and that's probably going to be working for Shigaraki, and they barely got away with their lives because they took some damage. And dude, like when they showed where he like where they were in the mountain area, and he just demolished like that whole side of that mountain and everything. Yeah, dude ain't playing. Then we also have what else do we have? We have Bakugo and Todoroki, like I said earlier in the video, and then they get there to do their license exam, and we have All Might and Endeavor kind of having like a confrontation, well, like a mini confrontation. He was like, oh, if it isn't the former #1 hero. So like maybe they're gonna, and he said he wanted to sit down and have a discussion with All Might. So they're gonna have maybe like a talk. And I wonder what they want to talk about though. Could it be, I don't know. You never know with Endeavor, man. But that's everything that happened this episode, and we got to see Kami, the real Kami this time. And she got Todoroki's number. So it was just a nice, laid back, mellow episode, man. And we got a new opening and a new ending. So go to my other channel, which is Nothing Entertainment 3, and go check those out, because that's where I throw out opening reactions and endings and stuff. So go check that out on that channel, man, because I'm going to react to the new opening and the new ending. So stay tuned for that, man. And this was a short discussion review because, like I said, there was nothing major that happened. And yeah, I'm super excited for next week because it feels like we're going to dive into like the whole work study with Bakugo and everyone else and Todoroki. So I feel like next week's episode is going to be like, it revolves around the whole work study, them getting their license. My mind. But this is your boy Dick Incredible, man. Don't forget to smash the like button until you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them. And subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. And remember that anime matters, anime is greatness, and anime is life, man. Peace out.